Welcome. In front of me is a Sony Xperia 1 Mark VII, and today I'll be going over unboxing. I'll have a quick look at the device and its specifications. So, nothing has basically changed in terms of packaging right here, so we still have the same kind of looking cardboard box. I cut through that, and there we go. And get in there. In terms of feel, the device also doesn't seem like it changed much. What it did change is the fact for this overpriced piece of shit, we don't even get a charging cable. Wow, nicely done, Sony. What was that actual waste too? Are you kidding me here? Corporations are starting to be absolute pieces of shit when it comes down to this. Like, soon enough, you're just gonna be buying an empty box. So anyway, with that annoyance out of the way, let's talk about the device and see what it offers for, let's see the price, for, holy shit, $1,500? Are you kidding me here? This better be sucking my, for that price. Wow. Okay, now I don't need to check the spec sheet to know that for this price, it ain't gonna deliver anything worth it. But I'm gonna just try to approach this optimistically, with an idea that maybe it's made out of gold. So, let's talk about the display. It's an LTPO OLED display, 1 billion colors, 120Hz refresh rate, HDR, not even certified. Are you kidding me here? Not even certified, not 10 plus? What happened? Was it too expensive for you? And we have some BT 2020. Now, it's a 6.5 inch display with an 86.5% screen to body ratio. Not even 90, great. Continuing off with a great start. And pixel density of 396 pixels per inch. Cover the corner Gorilla Glass Victus 2. The cover glass, it's good. The type of display, really good. Refresh rate, really good. It's lacking some high refresh rate for your touch inputs, but you know, we can't expect everything for $1,500. Now, if we move over to the cameras, we have what looks to be a triple camera setup, and the main sensor is 48 megapixel f1.9 aperture 24mm wide lens with optical image stabilization. Then we got 12 megapixel f2.3 aperture 85mm telephoto, and another 48 megapixel f2.0 aperture 16mm ultra wide. Zeiss optics and some kind of Zeiss T lens coating, some basically weird stuff. But in terms of actual recording and stuff like that, we get 4K at 60, also with slow motion of 120, HDR, and also 1080p goes up to 60 and slow motion of 120 with 5-axis gyroscopic electronic image stabilization and also optical image stabilization. And then as a selfie, we got a 12 megapixel f2.0 wide sensor that does also 4K 60, 1080p 60, and also 5-axis gyro electronic image stabilization. So, camera-wise, at least on paper, they seem to be pretty good. Also, Sony does come with their own additional camera application, and so they have Camera Pro and Video Pro, which are both used for just more in-depth kind of control of camera in general, either for photos or videos, depending on which one you want to do. And these are actually pretty good applications all in all. So, moving on, I want to point out that these cameras that I just kind of glazed a little bit, these are software. You can have these kind of application, if someone makes them, on any other phone. It's just that it's made by Sony. So, pointing that out is because primarily what you're getting to pay is for hardware, I would say. Now, If we move over to the internals, that's kind of where the phone is a flagship. But, let's be honest, it's lacking a little bit in terms of price for $1,500. So we have a 5,000 mAh battery that can be charged at a measly 30 watts with a wireless of 15. First strike right here in terms of hardware. 5,000 mAh battery for a 6.5-inch device. It's just, Sony not really giving you the best that it can offer, but they definitely do give you the best in terms of price tag. As this device should well easily have 6,000 milliamps if they decided to go with a silicon carbon battery, which they didn't, because these are cheaper. Go figure. $1,500 and Sony decides to go with what's cheaper. Also, in terms of charging speed, 30 watts. Are you freaking kidding me right here? It's 2025. This should have maybe 100 watts, not 30. What are you, Samsung? So yeah, charging speed right here is absolutely pitiful. This dog trash kind of cheap Realme right here is charging basically as fast, and it costs about 15 times less. Great. Just fantastic. Just as a, quick little comparison. Now, in terms of the processor, it is being powered by basically the best thing that it can be, which is the Snapdragon 8 Elite. So for that price, obviously, if they decided to go with something like an 8S Gen 4, they might as well just stop existing altogether. So that's what you would expect, and that's what they delivered. I would have expected more, but this is at least one department which they delivered. We have also 12 gigabytes of RAM. This is the only option, and you have 256 gigs of storage or 512 gigs of storage expendable. You can pop in a micro SD card in here, which is good. What isn't good is the storage type, which is 4.0 UFS instead of 4.1, which would have been a newer, better option. For a device at $1,500, they're deciding to go with the last gen storage type. Great. Awesome. Now, anything else that I didn't mention right here? We have a Android 15 on here. Again, no surprise there. It's a 2025 phone with the newest Android, as it should. And it also has up to 4 major Android upgrades. That's also pretty good. You basically covered till Android like 19, as long as they don't change the names. That's basically everything that there is worth talking about this device. One thing that might be useful, I believe these phones, as in Sony, can be used as a viewfinder for the alpha cameras if you have those. So that is kind of nice. In general, from experiencing other Xperia phones, they sometimes are under-delivering in terms of cameras, even though on paper they are really good. The software for them is sometimes just kind of not the best from experience, but maybe 7 generations of them made them actually finally make a good camera software. I don't know. And also, we do have a fingerprint sensor that is mounted on the side instead of under the display. We also have a shutter button right here for taking photos, volume rockers, then nothing on this side, and at the bottom we have our SIM/SD tray, Type-C charging port, and at the top we have this forgotten thing called a headphone jack, which is a nice thing to see. And that's basically everything. So, to recap this, you can get a Samsung S25 Ultra, not like I consider that to be a kind of like a benchmark of what's the best price to performance right here, as that isn't. And considering that isn't, you can get Samsung S25 Ultra for about 50% less, or maybe not 50, like basically about $1,000 right now, as they didn't apparently sell too well at the retail price, so it's almost permanently discounted now. And you have a stylus, you have great camera setup, you have basically a little bit of a bigger display phone with a much better screen to body ratio. Obviously a company that manufactures their own displays and sells them, so you should expect basically the best there. Also with 8 Elite, better cooling, higher clocks, more RAM, more storage options, no expendable storage, about the same battery size, and just a titsy bit more charging speed. Again, like I said, Samsung isn't the benchmark for what's great. But considering there aren't, they still managed to actually manufacture a more affordable and a lot better device than what we have right here, which begs the question how Sony is still manufacturing these phones without actual losses. It completely baffles me. How many of you actually buy this thing? Because if you are buying this, you're getting shafted by Sony. There is no other way to explain this. You are literally just kind of like bending over to pick up the soap. So, please stop. That's basically all I got to say to you. In any case, if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.